Hey guys, welcome to the 13th episode of the Book Nook. I'm your host Olivia, and for today's episode, I'm going to be talking about my favorite fall books. So, I know that fall is almost ending. This episode is a little bit late, but better late than never, but it's okay. I'm just going to talk about some fall books that I recommend, and you could always read these books next fall. With all the scheduling things, I couldn't fit this episode in earlier because I had to re-record all of my original audio episodes on here. So, and then obviously I had the interview with the guest author Olivia for last week's episode, so I really couldn't do a fall book episode until now. But it's okay because it's fine. We could still make this happen. Just pretend that it's September or October. Pretend it's the beginning of fall and you really want a book to get you into the fall vibes and the fall aesthetic. So yeah, we're just gonna start. Okay, so the first book I want to talk about is The Giver by Lois Lowry. So this one is one of my favorites. It's so nostalgic because I read this in 7th grade. In middle school, this was absolutely one of my favorite books that I read in middle school. It's about Jonas, who is the protagonist. He is, I think, a 12-year-old boy, and it's a dystopian book, by the way. So in this society, when kids turn 12 years old, they have a special assignment given to them for their job. And that's going to be the job that they have for the rest of their lives. So, and in this society, it's so weird because they have, the people have no freedom at all. They don't have any rights. It's just, they literally get assigned jobs and spouses and children. They don't even get to choose their partner. They don't get to choose anything at all. So basically every single aspect of their lives is controlled by the government and they have no rights at all. So this book was very interesting. I really enjoyed the plot. It's really, really engaging, and it's the type of book that you can't put down. So yeah, I highly recommend this book. I would probably give this a 7 out of 10. It's pretty good. As far as dystopian books go, this one was one of the good ones. And yeah, I feel like this book kind of gives off fall vibes. When I think of fall, I think of dystopian and murder mystery books, historical fiction, thriller. I think of those types of books for the fall. So yeah, I recommend that you guys check out The Giver by Lois Lowry. Okay, so the next book I want to talk about is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This is such a classic, and it is absolutely one of my favorite books ever. This is definitely my favorite classic. So this book, it takes place in the 1920s. The Roaring Twenties, the Jazz Age. The Roaring Twenties was a great time in history. I'm a big history nerd, so yeah, Roaring Twenties was a great time in U.S. history, because it was before the Great Depression. Everyone was basically rich. It was just a really great time to be alive. Literally, everyone was rich, everyone was wealthy. It was such a time of economic prosperity in the US, and also with all the jazz music that was happening in that era. And the flappers and everything, and prohibition with the speakeasies and bootlegging. That was very interesting. If I could go back in time to a time period in history, I would definitely choose the 20s because it just sounds like so much fun back then. But yeah, anyway, so this book takes place in the 20s, and there are two different types of people. There are new money people and old money people. So old money people are the people that had wealth before the 20s. They have always been wealthy. They have had wealth passed down to them from their ancestors. Their whole family line is everyone's wealthy. Wealth is kind of genetic. They've always had money in their family. And the new money people are the people that recently acquired money and they just recently became rich in the 1920s. So that's the difference between old money and new money people. And this distinction is very significant. It's a very important part of the plot in this book. And so the protagonist, Jay Gatsby, he is new money. And he lives on West Egg. West Egg is where the new money people live, I believe. And East Egg, if I'm remembering correctly, is where all the old money people live. So the story takes place in Long Island, New York, and it's very divided. Like the West Egg people are all over here, and then the East Egg people are all over here. And yeah, it's very divided. New money and old money people, they don't really like each other because like old money people kind of look down on new money people because they didn't have their wealth passed down to them, because new money people, they just got their money in the 1920s. Yeah, so there's a lot of beef between the old money people and the new money people, but basically the whole story is basically about Gatsby, who throws these big extravagant parties in his mansion on West Egg. It's about him trying to get with Daisy Buchanan, who is the girl that he's in love with. He is so madly in love with her for like the whole book. He's actually obsessed with her to probably an unhealthy extent, but he is so obsessed with her that he throws these parties just to get her attention. Like, he doesn't even care about his money or being rich that much. He doesn't care about like the mansion and his parties. He literally just wants this girl. Like, that's all he wants is Daisy Buchanan. So I really don't know what's so special about Daisy Buchanan that he loves her so much, but basically the reason why he throws these parties is because he wants to show Daisy that he's rich, because he was always in love with Daisy his whole life. Like, when they were really young, he like tried to marry her. I think he proposed to her, but then she said no because he wasn't rich. So when Gatsby was really poor, he knew that Daisy Buchanan was out of his league because she was too rich for him, and he was like, oh, she's never gonna want to marry a poor guy. So that's why Gatsby worked really hard, and then he became rich. He got all this money, and now he's showing off his money and wealth to Daisy by throwing these parties so that he can show her that he is actually rich. So he wants to show her that he has something to offer her, and he's worth her attention now because he's rich. So yeah, but this book is also kind of sad because it doesn't end well for Gatsby. I'm not gonna spoil anything if you haven't read it yet, but just keep that in the back of your head that it's not gonna end well for Gatsby, unfortunately. It's really sad. It's so sad, actually, because Gatsby is one of the few likable people in the book, because also there's like a whole affair thing with Daisy's husband, and it's a whole big thing. Like, everyone's cheating on each other, so yeah. Also, some of the other secondary characters are Nick Carraway and Jordan Baker, also Tom Buchanan and Myrtle Wilson, and what's his name? George Wilson. Yeah, George Wilson. Yeah. So this book, it really focuses on the theme of the American dream. So that's very interesting. And also there's like a green light in the book that is pretty symbolic, but like you'll figure that out when you read it. So I highly recommend this book. I would rate it probably a 10 out of 10 because it's great. It's amazing. Also the movie is really good too. And there's a Broadway musical of The Great Gatsby too, and I love the soundtrack so much. I think the whole soundtrack is just perfect. I love all the songs, and I really want to watch the musical really badly. But anyway, yeah, definitely go read this book if you haven't already. It's literally the perfect fall book because the end of the book takes place during the fall. Okay, now moving on to the next book, which is The Outsiders by Essie Hinton. So this is a young adult book. So The Outsiders takes place in the 1960s in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and there are these two rival gangs, the Greasers and the Socias. So just like in The Great Gatsby, you can see like the parallels between The Great Gatsby and The Outsiders because the books are so similar when you think about it. But basically, the Greasers and the Socias, they hate each other. They're just like new money and old money. Like, they're the same. So the Greasers are pretty poor and they live on the east side of Tulsa. And the Socias are very wealthy. They're very rich and they live on the west side. So they're very, very different. Just like even the clothes that they wear are very different because the Greasers wear a lot of like jean jackets and leather jackets. They always have grease in their hair. That's kind of their signature look that everyone has. While the Socias, they're very like classy. They're very like preppy. And yeah, I would say that this book is very good. It's basically about Ponyboy Curtis, the main character. He's a greaser, by the way. He has two brothers, Soda Pop and Daryl, and they're all greasers. His best friend is Johnny Cade. Some of the other characters are Dallas, Winston, Two-Bit, Steve. Those are all the greasers, I believe. I don't think I'm missing anyone. And then for the Socias, it's Cherry Valance, one of my favorite characters, Bob, and then Paul, yeah, and also Marcia or something. I think that's her name, but Cherry Valance's friend. So basically, the Socias and the Greasers hate each other, obviously, and one day, Ponyboy and Johnny find themselves in a lot of trouble because of something that Johnny did. It's not good, not good at all. Both of them, the thing that Johnny did is so bad that Johnny and Ponyboy have to run away. They literally run away from Tulsa, and they get into a lot of mischief, a lot of adventures. So many things happen that I'm not gonna spoil, but I love this book so much. This is actually one of my favorite books ever. And this book is a solid 10 out of 10, guys. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. This book is so great. I love S.E. Hinton's writing. I love the characters, the setting, the plot, everything. Also, this book is really sad too. This book is almost the same as The Great Gatsby, except the Outsiders doesn't have like parties, and it doesn't take place in the 1920s. But other than that, like, this book is pretty similar to The Great Gatsby because this book doesn't end well either for some characters. Yeah, a few characters kind of die, but yeah, that's why The Outsiders it's kind of a sad ending. But I love Ponyboy Curtis, and Daryl and Soda are such great characters. I really love the character development for all of them. And yeah, this book will always have a special place in my heart because I first read this in middle school. I was in the 7th grade. And at first I didn't like this book, but now I love it so much. I really want to watch The Outsiders musical as well on Broadway because the soundtrack for The Outsiders is actually top tier. It's actually so amazing. It's incredible because all the actors are so talented. They're all great singers, but also the lyrics and the melodies of all the songs are so great as well. Outsiders, it gets a 10 out of 10. Okay, now this next book is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This is a dystopian book, and it's about these two people, Rowan and Citra, and these two people are apprentices that are training to become scythes. So in this society, death doesn't really exist because they kind of figured out how to live forever. So because everyone can live forever, they need a way to control the population to keep it from growing too big. So they have these scythes, and scythes train to basically kill people. They have a really important job in society because without scythes, the population would just grow out of control. So scythes just kill people. That's basically what they do. That's literally their job. Citra and Rowan are both training to become scythes. But there's a lot of conflict that happens. A lot of people die in this book, obviously. But this book is very well written. I love this book. It's actually one of my favorite dystopian books, so I would rate this book a 9 out of 10. I highly recommend this book, and this book is really, the plot is really interesting. It is such a good page turner. Like, I couldn't put this book down when I first read it. Yeah, it is amazing. So I think that this book is a really good book for fall because dystopian books just naturally give off fall energy to me. I feel like there's so many fall vibes in dystopian books. I don't know. I don't really know why exactly, but I feel like Scythe is a really good book to read in the fall. Okay, now this next book is The Westing Game by Ellen Raskin. So The Westing Game is I would say this is a very classic murder and mystery book. This book is one of the few murder mystery books I've read, actually, because I don't really read a lot of books in that genre, but I'm hoping to get into them soon. And The Westing Game, it is about these people that live in Sunset Towers, but the main character is Turtle Wexler, and basically, in Sunset Towers, there's this guy named Sam Westing, right? And Sam Westing dies, so he has a will, and in the will, he invites these people that live in Sunset Towers to play the Westing game and figure out who killed him. That's kind of the whole point of the game, is the people need to try to solve the mystery and figure out who killed Sam Westing. And whoever wins the game, they get to keep the money from the will. Like, they get to keep his inheritance. So, Turtle Wexler is one of the people that was invited to play this game, along with her mother and sister Angela. So this book was very interesting. When I first read it, I didn't really get what it was about, because I literally read this in elementary school, guys. I was in like 5th grade, and my little 5th grade brain couldn't really understand what this was about. But now that I've read it again, and I'm older now, I definitely understand this book a lot better. And I really like this book, actually. In this book, it's not your typical mystery book. It's very different, very unconventional, I would say. Yeah, it's really unique. The plot is very, very unique because it's not really like at the end when the mystery gets solved. The culprit is a very unexpected person. It's not really like a typical murder mystery book. The whole Westing game concept is also a really cool and interesting idea, but that's why I like this book, is because I feel like the plot is so different and unique. I wasn't expecting like the ending at all. Like, the ending shocked me. I was so surprised when I found out who the culprit was, because that was not who I expected it to be. I really had no idea who killed Sam Westing, but when I finally found out who it was, I was so shocked. So this book, again, is perfect for fall, murder mystery. Fall is all about like mysteries and all that, so I highly recommend this book. I think I would rate The Westing Game an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, those are all the books I recommend. Those are some of my favorite books to read in the fall, and I hope you guys definitely check some of these books out, even if it's not really fall anymore, but you guys will not be disappointed. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you liked today's episode, then comment down below what your favorite book to read in the fall is, and make sure to like, subscribe, and follow the Book Nook Instagram. Also, subscribe to the Book Nook newsletter on Substack for some exclusive content behind the scenes and just fun little pieces of content. That's it for today's video. I'm your host Olivia, and signing off. I'll see you guys in the next one.